The second episode for the Mighty Ducks Game Changers came out yesterday, and I did decide, yeah, I'm going to do a weekly series on this one. I talked about the first episode a few days ago, and I enjoyed it. I have lots of nostalgia with those first two movies, so going into this series, I was excited. And the second episode was good, but nothing special. Full spoilers here as always. I'm not going to go through scene by scene, but I'm going to do what I did with WandaVision, what I'm doing now with The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I also talked about today, so definitely check that video out too. But I really liked the first episode. I thought it was cool. It was nice to see, all these characters come together, or like start to form. And then this episode came along, and I'll say I liked it. I just didn't think it was all that great. Now this show is not going to be some masterpiece. It's not trying to be the next Breaking Bad, and I understand that. I understand it's just supposed to be this fun, kind of cute, aimed towards younger kids show. It's definitely playing off the nostalgia of the first movies. I mean, we have characters who are basically identical to the original ones, like Goldberg and whatever the goalie's name is now, which maybe says something about the show that I don't remember some of the characters' names after 2 episodes. They're basically the same person, but they're still fun to watch. And in this episode, Evan's mom, who's like the coach of the team, tries to get them to do their first drill basically is like pass the puck around, tell something about them that's like shows on the outside and then the inside, and it's cool to see. Although there's lots of parts there that just go on for way too long. And this episode I think was shorter than the first one, but there were lots of scenes which I was just like, okay, let's go to the next one here. And I will admit, some of the dialogue really made me cringe. Some of the stuff that happened, I was like, oh, come on. It could have been much better than that. I know, again, this is not supposed to be the greatest show in the world. It's just supposed to be a fun show. It's a fun show for sure, but there were lots of things where I was like, come on, you could have done so much better there. Some of the dialogue and some of the characters, although overall the characters are actually a lot less annoying than I thought. Like, they're pretty funny sometimes, and Evan, I think, is still a really good lead. He's definitely carrying a lot of the show, and I also like his friend who's like the podcast kid. I think he's really funny. He has some really good jokes here. I think he probably made me laugh the most. And then there's like little moments that really made me laugh, like when one of the weirder girl kind of just like, oh yeah, and she pulls up nunchucks. I was like, whoa, where did that come from? I found that funny. And the kid who's like the Daredevil type kid who tries to bang at everything and body check everything, when he sees if he can like grind on the top of the boards, then he falls. I thought there were funny moments like that. And overall, I mean, I like the ideas. I feel like there are cool ideas here. I get what they're trying to do, and she's trying to be the safe mom, so she puts out beach balls and the kids are excited. And there are little things like when the guy's like X, X, X. Oh yeah, that's how I use my kick save, like, because obviously he's a gamer. But there were lots of things here which I was like, oh yeah, you shouldn't have done that, or like, how's the score? I think it was like 13-0 or something when they played that red team, and it's like, there were way more than 13 goals if almost all your players can't skate and your goalie doesn't move. Like, let's be completely honest here. And I know it just sounds like I'm complaining, but I did enjoy this episode. I thought it was funny. I thought overall it was very entertaining. And Emilio Estevez as Gordon Bombay was, I can't tell, like, his presence didn't feel as strong in this episode, but I liked all the scenes that he was in here. Some of them were funny. He has some good jokes here, and it had one of my favorite scenes in the show, I will admit, when, again, as I said, spoilers, he does go out on the ice, and then Alex, I think is the mom's name, Evan's mom, the coach, is kind of sitting there, and then we see him skate around, and he's going fast, and then he stops, he's shooting. That's cool to see. And sometimes I noticed that kind of more kids shows do this, but they always like build up the music, and then nothing really big happens. And sometimes that has happened in the show, not just in that scene. I actually really enjoyed that scene. I thought it was cool to see. It's fun to see Emilio Estevez back here, and I liked how they showed him through the blinds when they were playing that team, and he's just like, oh god, what are they doing? There's lots of things in this show that I think could be improved, but overall it is a fun time. It has a bunch of likable characters. I feel like it'll get better as it goes along with the whole dynamic between them all, because you have some kids who are like really good here. Like, I really like Evan, I really like the podcast kid. I can't even remember all their names. There's some stuff like that. Emilio Estevez, I'm interested to see what they do with this character. I think the mom, Alex, is very good here. Lauren Grahm, or Laura Graham, I think it's Lauren Graham, really good here. So a lot of the kids are actually pretty good, some not so much, but I'm not going to point that out. Like, I just don't want to, because they're kids, they're still learning. But again, if you like the original Mighty Ducks movies, and I do highly recommend the show, I do feel like it will get better as it goes along. I'm going to give episode 2 of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers a 3 out of 5. It's still a passing grade, still a solid enough rating. Some of you will be like, oh, whoa, he talked a lot worse about this, but now he's giving it a 3 out of 5. It's still fun. It still entertained me. It was enjoyable. And probably my favorite scene besides the whole Emilio Estevez or Gordon Bombay skating scene was when they had to like break into the lost and found. I actually thought that was actually a really good scene. I should have mentioned that before. I thought that was a funny scene, and I liked when they took whatever the hell again. I can't remember some of the characters' names, and maybe that says something about the show or me. But basically, like the Toronto Maple Leafs kid, you know, like the newer kid who we thought was gonna be like the Adam Banks of this team, and he kind of like woos the secretary. I thought that was funny. And then when they're all in the lost and found room, it's funny. But overall, this show is fun so far. It's nothing special, but it never was gonna be. But what did you think of this episode? Tell me in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.